Well, good morning, good afternoon, good night. I'm excited that you chose to hang out with me again here on Wisdom on Wednesday. I'm Ray, and I've been having a wonderful time sharing my thoughts, sharing my failures, sharing the things that have happened well in my life, the things that didn't happen so well. And I'm just grateful that you've been a part of this journey with me. Thank you so much for sharing the content. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Continue to need your help. Like and subscribe. The more that you like, the more that you comment, the farther the reach will go on this Wisdom on Wednesday podcast. And so this particular week, I've been praying over something that will be helpful, something that will edify us all so we can continue to grow. And here's what I consider. Wise people, we need to know the difference between being a helper and being a supporter. Wise people, we need to understand the difference between being a helper and a supporter. You see, sometimes when I'm at the gym, because I've been in the gym for a very long time, I may see somebody who doesn't have proper form. I may see somebody who may have too much weight. I may see somebody who may be doing something that I did previously and I got injured. So sometimes I feel like I'm helping people by inserting myself into their workout and assuming that they want my help. Now, all the time, people don't completely dismiss me, but every now and then I'll try to offer my perfected services because I'm perfect, right? No. When I try to insert myself in someone else's workout, first thing, they didn't ask me. Second thing, I don't know how long they've been on this journey. Third thing, I don't know what injury they're working through. So I made an assumption that because I've been working out, and I've been working out for a very long time, I must be an expert in this particular area of life. Can you relate, friends? So I inserted myself to help, and there are some times where people are grateful, and there are some times where people are rejecting the thing that I offered. You see, the difference is when I go to a friend who wants me to help spot him on the bench press, there's a difference between helping and supporting. I hope I'll make it make sense. You see, when you bench press and you're trying to max out, a wise person would ask for help because you know this is a larger load, something you've never been able to do by yourself. So you want to be safe and be sure you can get somebody who has some strength that can help you if you get in a tight jam. So we'll spot. And the difference between me inserting myself because that person didn't ask, I gave unsolicited advice, versus a person tapping me on the shoulder and asking me to come and support them while they try to get a personal goal. Now, I'll always ask this question when a person asks me to spot them. I'll say, how many reps are you trying to get? You see, there's a difference because when people ask you for help, just because they asked you, that doesn't mean you have an allowance to do whatever you want to do. Just because they ask for your support doesn't mean that you can just do it the way you want. So when people ask you to support them, we still have to quantify and qualify the amount of support those people actually want. I'll say, how many reps are you trying to get? And most people will say 3 to 5. And because I've been lifting for a little while, I can tell when a person is strong and I can tell when a person is struggling. So many times people don't know how far they can go and they'll get to their number in their mind. They'll get to 5. But an experienced support person, let's call them a wise support, a wise spotter. A wise spotter can see that that person may have more in them than they actually know that they have. See, some people actually live as if they don't have support. Some people actually live their lives as if they've always been by themselves. So when support comes, it's very difficult for them to receive help because they're used to doing things on their own. You see how we have to find out the difference, wise people? You see, unsolicited help means that I've inserted myself into your life. I've inserted myself into your circumstance. And sometimes when you insert yourself into someone else's life, you may feel like you're being rejected, but ultimately, wise friend, you're not being rejected. You're just offering something that wasn't asked. Now, I know this sounds pretty rough and like, how do I offer my services? How do I use the gifts that God gave me? I'm so glad you asked, because many of us struggle with this when this is our gift. You see, I fall into this category because my gift, one of my spiritual gifts, is a great support person, in my opinion, a help to many people. And sometimes when you want to help and you want to offer, when you want to support, it's difficult when people don't want what you have to offer. That's why wise people, we've got to understand the differences and not make this a personal rejection pout party. We don't have to look at it as a person doesn't value us. They may not value us in that particular category, but they may value us in other areas. Just because a person doesn't want what you have doesn't mean they don't want you. That thing that you're offering is just like that auntie who always wants to bring something to Thanksgiving. We say, no, auntie, just bring your sense of humor. Don't cook nothing. Because you were bringing something that you like, but nobody else at the table likes it. But we love you and we love your personality. Bring yourself and bring some to-go plates and we're going to teach you how to cook macaroni cheese. You see the difference? Now, when you're a support person, you're a person who's confident and recognizes that you do have something to offer. And as you understand that you have something to offer, you polish those skills. You work on yourself. You make yourself in a position to where you're valuable and your skill sets are attractive to people to ask you questions as if, can you help me in this area of life? Can you support me in this area of life? Now, once those people have offered up themselves to you, asking you to come in and support, now we can have open dialogue without any hidden agendas. Now we can have open dialogue and people's feelings aren't going to get hurt because we may be offering something that people didn't ask for. Now, my wife and I, we have a joke around our house is that she and I both have the proclivity to want to put our capes on. Our capes, the Superman and the Supergirl capes, that we want to put our capes on and we want to help people because that's how God made us. God made us to be able to support people and help people. And she and I have both been through all types of experiences in life. So we do have some things to add. But it's hard sometimes because we have a teenager now. We have 2 teenagers, actually. And all my parents on here, I know you all get to that space to where you've been the support for your children. You were the support when they were in the hospital coming after pregnancy. You were the support when they learned how to walk. You were the support when they first went to school and you had to drop them off and you cried in the car. You were their support and they came to you and asked for help for every aspect of their life. But one day came that you offered support. You offered help. And that little baby didn't want what you had to offer anymore. You asked, did you need me to drop you off? No, Dad, I got my license. Do you want me to go check out the job before you apply? No, I did my research online. You see, sometimes the things that you're really good at are things that God's trying to stretch you in and help us recognize that just because you're good in this area, everybody doesn't want you to offer your services. Now, when you understand the differences between the 2 family, I want us to get to this point that when you understand the differences in offering help and people asking for support, now we don't have to feel like we're being rejected. Now we don't have to go through the space of feeling like we're not effective anymore, because this happens with blessed mothers and their sons get married. Sometimes when their sons get married, they want to come over and help them clean his clothes. They want to help him cook. Mom, he's got a wife now. So some of the things that you were comfortable helping your baby boy with, now he has a whole family to take care of. And it's very difficult for a mother to watch another woman take care of her son, because she's taking care of him his whole life. And now he's taking care of somebody else. But when you recognize that you're a support person versus a helper, now you stand at the ready whenever somebody needs you versus inserting yourself and possibly your feelings getting hurt because people don't want what you have to offer at that time. I love the fact that we can grow and we can learn and have open conversations. And I know that's a very difficult conversation to have somebody says, I know you offered your services. I know you offered your advice, but I'm going to try my best to eat the fish and spit the bones out. This one I'm going to take my own lead. And if I need you, keyword friends, if I need you, I'm going to reach out. That's one of the best conversations you can possibly have from a mentor or a mentee. What's going on is you're building boundaries in the relationship. What you're doing is you're setting precedents of how we're going to lean on each other, how we're going to depend on each other, how we're going to support one another. Because if you're just infringing on my boundaries because you feel like everything you have to offer is super valuable to me, that's going to make me feel pressure that I can't live my own life. And none of us want to do that. But what happens is we want to exercise our gifts. But the gifts that God has given us isn't for everybody. God has given us things that's going to bless a particular group of people. The Bible says that your gifts will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men. So just because a person doesn't want what you have to offer right now doesn't mean that you're ineffective. Just because what you are offering right now and that person is not receiving it right now does not mean that they won't need you or need that information at a later time. You see, wise people, we have to understand that just because it's a good idea to us doesn't mean that it's a good idea to other people. Wise people, we have to understand that just because we see ourselves as valuable, experts in certain areas of life, we've lived a little bit, so we know more than most people. Just because we believe that about ourselves doesn't mean that that gives us a license to speak into other people's lives on all matters. Many of us are experts in certain areas, but we're not experts in all areas. And many of us are 70 percenters. 70 percenters meaning we can have a conversation about mostly anything. But ultimately, there are some people who are experts in those areas, and a wise person would seek out an expert so they can have the best outcome. You see where we're going, wise friends? So in order for us to go to the next level, wise people, for us to remain effective, we've got to know the difference between support and help. So when we support, we're waiting on the ready. When we help, sometimes we're inserting ourselves in a place and our feelings get hurt because we feel rejected. So this is me, Ray, with Wisdom on Wednesday, and I hope that this was an effective word for you. I know it helped me when I prayed over it, and getting it out of my mouth and sharing it with you is actually ministering to my heart today. And I pray you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week.